on their way up in my rankings.
Heard that. That's the Hillary Report, ladies and gentlemen. Each and every week, the NBA through the eyes of Patrick. Man, I want to kind of circle back to what you were saying when you were talking about the Lakers. And yeah, I think the problem there is psychologically, as a player for that team, how can you focus? I mean, you were on the trading block. You were on every tweet, Instagram post, media outlet. You're going to get traded. You're going to get traded. You're going to get traded. And yeah, I thought it was cool with the Bad Boy for Life song when Lonzo Ball zoomed in the speaker. We ain't going nowhere. That was funny. But it comes to a certain point where it's got to affect you mentally to go out there, play hard. I know they had Rajon Rondo is one of the best leaders in that team. Had a practice with the team and kind of bring guys back together again, establish camaraderie, and maybe these 7 days off help with that. But I think that's a big reason why they're struggling is because a lot of these guys are probably like, well, damn, a few weeks ago nobody wanted me. Now I'm supposed to be all gun ho and team. Not to mention our coach is on the hot seat, and allegedly, according to reports, my air quotes, he could be fired any day. So I mean, it's just a bad situation all around, on top of the pressure of being a teammate of LeBron James, who some would argue is the greatest basketball player of all time. And we were talking about Kyle Kuzma. The reason why I'm a huge fan of that guy is because Kuzma reminds me of the kid who, he plays basketball as if he's not aware of who he's playing or where he's at. And what I mean by that is he comes across as the kind of guy you could be like, hey, we're playing the Golden State Warriors in Game 7. If we win this, win the championship. If we lose, we'll go down as one of the greatest defeats in Lakers history. He's coming out gunning. He's coming out aggressive. Floater, jumper, tap-in. He doesn't care. He just goes out and plays ball. And I respect that. And I think his playing style matched well with LeBron, along with Josh Hart. Josh Hart for different reasons. Because a lot of people that play with LeBron James and aren't named Kyrie Irving, they're scared. They're timid. They pass up shots. They're thinking, oh, if I do this, what will people say? Oh, if I do this, what will LeBron say? Man, Kyle's just gunning. He's just going to ball out. I mean, that Celtics game, he got that pass. If you look at the video, LeBron's in the corner calling for the ball. He shoots it. If I make it, we win. If I miss it, we lose. It's whatever, man. I respect the hell out of that kid for playing that style.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. I mean, he's just got that gunslinger mentality. Like, I'm gonna score. You know, he's a scorer. That's what he is. I mean, he's gonna be out there. You know, the hook shot, I don't know where it comes from, but he's got that nasty hook shot that he comes out with too. But I mean, yeah, you look at it in the USA versus the world, he had 35 points, 6 rebounds, a block. You know, before the All-Star break, in a loss against the 76ers, he had 39 points. And then turn around in the loss against Atlanta, he had 19 points. So I think the biggest thing there is is the inconsistency, I guess. But I mean, that comes from being young, you know, fresh in the NBA. Right. And the other thing is, too, like you said, I mean, you shoot the ball enough, you're not always going to make it. So, but like all the good shooters and all the good scorers in the league say, you know, look, keep pulling the trigger, because if you don't, you're not going to score. You know, if you shoot it and you score, great. If you don't, just make sure you're in position to get a rebound or go back, you know, get in transition or something like that. So he is one of the more exciting players of that team. And to be honest with you, I mean, I'm obviously not a Lakers fan specifically, but I think the team is better off for not, you know, giving him up in any trade, any trade whatsoever.
Yeah, I can think of a couple of people I'm friends with that are diehard Laker fans that are super excited he's still on that team and would love to see Anthony Davis on there and him still stay on the team. How the Lakers can pull that off, I couldn't explain to you that part. But if they can pull it off where he still stays in that squad, I think that's major for that team for sure. As we head into the second half of the season, of course, the conversation is MVP. This is a fantastic season we've had so far. Guys are just... Each night, somebody's showing up the next person. I mean, for God's sakes, Derrick Rose has had a 50-point game this season. Kemba Walker's had one. It's just a battle every night of guys just stepping up and showing out. For me, heading into the second half of the season, no particular order. That's too complicated. Just the 3 players who I think should be seriously considered for MVP. I would say James Harden, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Paul George. Those are my 3 guys that I think. The rest of the people, your Steph Currys, your Kevin Durant's, they're having great seasons. Yeah, good job. But Kawhi. But these are the 3 guys that I think, when it's all said and done, should be in the conversation.
There's no argument whatsoever. And if anybody has an argument with that, I understand it. You know, you're a big Kawhi guy. Joel Embiid.
I had him early. He fell off. He fell off hard. Yeah,
that was another name that early in the season he was definitely a contender for. I'm with you 100%. I mean, I don't think right now there's three guys that are playing better in the league. As far as you watch Paul George, the way he's been playing with Westbrook,
of this
and
world,
he's the one
man.
shining.
Yeah.
He's the one knocking down the 3-point shots and getting fouled. He's the one taking the the clutch shots in the games and stuff like that. And he's playing defense. I went through the last podcast. I went through all his stats, and it's just like, man, he is doing everything: rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, you name it, he's doing it. But. And I know you said not in any particular order, but I'm still going to go with my guy. And I have to go with him. I mean, clearly the most dominant player in the game right now. Clearly, you watch the All-Star game. He looked like the guy. And he even said it himself. He said, my name was written on that MVP for the All-Star game until the third quarter. And then they ripped it away from me. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, that guy is just balling out. I mean, the last 10 games, 29 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and a block. I mean, that's just unheard of. I mean, his numbers. I mean, and it's kind of crazy too when you talk about the season. And I know you kind of talked about some of the players that are just coming out of nowhere and doing stuff. And it's crazy that we have what Giannis is doing, and then we have what Harden's doing in the 30, 31, 32 games straight, 30-plus games. I mean,
yeah.
It's just every year the NBA seems to be more and more changing the way the game is played. As far as
look at position. Look at the positionless basketball that's coming around now.
Right.
There is no center; it's just 5 guys that can ball.
Right, and then you got guys like the Joker, who, when you watch that skills challenge, what did he do? He dribbled up there. He didn't even chest. No, he didn't do the standard chest. No, he threw it one-handed, and it went right through and didn't even touch. I mean,
and he's how tall?
Right, exactly. I mean, it's just unreal seeing some of these guys, these 6'10", 7-foot guys that can pass, that can dribble, that can shoot. I mean, like you said, Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, we're talking about some guys. Even Anthony Davis is out there. I mean, we're talking about some big guys. I mean, I'm 6'2". You're what, 6'4"?
Yeah.
Yeah, so people always said I was tall when I'm like, man, I'm looking up with these guys, and these guys are
I was
out
all
here shooting
weekend.
3-pointers. Right, it's insane to see some of this stuff. So I'm really happy to see to finally get to this point where the MVP talk can really amp up. What do we have? 23 games, I think.
Yeah,
what 23
right.
games?
23, 24, something like that.
Yeah, and which guy's going to step up and just take it? Because I think right now, either guy. I mean, I think personally, if Harden continues on this 30-point streak, I don't think he can. I don't think you can not give it to him.
But, the team doesn't make the playoffs, but they will.
Well,
I know.
they will.
Never mind. My narrative doesn't make sense.
Right, but I mean, if something crazy happened, of course, hey, got Clint Capella getting ready to come back. I think he was out, 15 games.
Mm-hmm.
He was out 15 games with that thumb injury, so you got Clint
Chris
Capella
Paul's
getting ready
finally
to come
back. No more soft
Right.
tissue injuries. God, I'm
Right.
so tired of the hamstrings.
Right. Eric Gordon's out there balling night in and night out. Gerald Green knocking down 3-pointers all the time. So I think Houston is one of those teams that, I don't think the style of play that they're having right now is necessarily something that's going to get into the finals. But I still think, man, if you're Harden and you're playing like that, it's tough to beat a guy like that. I mean, we saw what he did against Golden State, where he hit the 3-pointer with 3 guys on him.
Yeah,
3 guys jumping at him, and he just drilled the 3-pointer right in their eye in the last second.
It's been unbelievable
After they
to watch.
just gave up. After they just gave up a 2-pointer on the other end to tie the game, I think they took the lead by 1. So he had a 3-pointer to win by 2. But man, it's just crazy seeing those 2 guys go at it. Go out there every night and just ball the way they are. And then Paul George, what he's done coming back from that injury. I mean, those 3 guys are just night in and night out proving that they should be on that list.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, the top storylines before we do our Wizards talk, the top storylines I'm looking at for the second half are like we've been talking about all season long. What did the Lakers do as far as did they make the playoffs? Don't make the playoffs? I'm interested to see what happens in the East. Who finishes in the top? Is it going to be the battle between Milwaukee, Boston, and who am I missing? Toronto for the top spot? is going to be very, very interesting in the East. And then also another thing I'm keeping my eye on is this: all these teams are tanking. These Knicks teams, this Bulls teams are just doing horrible. Phoenix, who's going to end up with that top overall draft pick? Those are storylines I'm looking forward to the most.
You mentioned that, and I don't want to cut you off there either, but of course, if you know anything about basketball, you know about Zion Williams. I mean, there's no doubt.
9 p.m. tonight, locking in.
Right, the guy is just dominating college basketball right now with the things that he's doing. He does something for a team, and I think that's what you're saying about teams tanking. Is he'll do something for a team where your tenants might be down.
Oh.
They're saying that the Duke UNC tickets, the cheapest ones, are $2,500. They're talking about the tickets to that game are more, or excuse me, they put it up there with the Super Bowl tickets.
I think they're more expensive.
What?
And he doesn't get a dime of that. Different show, different day.
Whoa,
I'm very pro paying college players, but let's not get. Let me push the soapbox away, Joe. Continue, Patrick. I'm not going to step on that NCAA soapbox.
I was coming to the fact that you were saying a lot of teams are tanking. So why are they tanking? Well, that's why they're tanking.
Yeah.
They're tanking because if we can get a guy that's going to put butts in the seats and is going to put money in our pockets.
And get some W's, maybe.
Right, and possibly get some W's and bring... And oh my goodness, just watching the plays that he makes and that 3-pointer that he made when he ran from the key or whatever, he pretty much jumped from just outside the key. And
the block shot? Yeah. The slow-mo was unbelievable. Yeah.
What? I mean, to see how high he jumped?
He hits his head in the backboard almost every time. And can you imagine, and I hate to tease you Knicks fans, but let's just say it happens.
Okay.
Number 1 draft pick.
Teaser here.
Number 1 draft pick and 2 max slots available. If the stars all align and all that happens, all those years of suffering for Knicks fans go away. I couldn't imagine having the number 1 draft pick and getting a Kyrie and a Kawhi or a Kyrie and a Kevin Durant. I showed you the video before the show, and it looked to me. I read his lips. I read the phrase 2 max slots. What other team could be talking about? I don't know. If there's another team that has money for 2 max slots, tweet us at Buckets and Dimes. Let me know. I'm just saying.
Right? I mean, it's definitely going to be on this summer to see.
Hell yeah.
What happens.
Hell yeah. Well, man, I'll let you kick things off when it comes to our state of the Washington Wizards. Of course, the season has not gone the way we wanted it to, but the show must go on. Lots of injuries, of course, that we talked about. The John Wall having the heel injury and then slipping out of the shower, ruptured Achilles, a devastating injury for John Wall as well. But they are not out of this thing quite yet. Still a glimmer of hope. 24 wins, 34 losses. We are sitting at we're sitting at the number, I want to say, 11 slot. Right. In the Eastern Conference for the Washington Wizards. 17-11 at home. The road is not our friend. Woo! We are 7-23 on the road, and we are 3-7 in our last 10. So we're coming off the All-Star break having lost 2 in a row. All that being said, as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, Bobby Portis, new addition. Jabari Parker, new addition. I have low expectations heading into the second half of the season. I do not think we're going to make the playoffs. I'm more interested in seeing some of the younger players like Thomas Bryant, Satoransky, their development. What are your thoughts? Kind of what are you looking for from the Washington Wizards with the rest of this season? 7 weeks to go.
I mean, with 7 weeks to go, I'm with you. I still think that we have a chance to possibly get in there. I think we're going to put some games together. I think watching Bradley Beal play in the All-Star game, it really shows that he is a superstar. I mean, he's definitely ascended to that level. But, man, I like Bobby Portis. I was big on him when he came out of college. I mean, you look at it in the game against the Pistons. He went 6 for 10 from the three-point line. Honestly, I didn't look at him as a three-point shooter. Maybe I didn't really follow him that well going into his career in the NBA. But he went 6 for 10, of course, in the game against Detroit. He had a game where he went against Cleveland. He went 4 for 6. I mean, he's out there. He scored 30 points one night, 24 points the next. So I really think he's a great addition to the team. Where are we going to go from here? I mean, I think there's a lot of young guys that really, really do need that time so we can really decide, is this somebody that we want to stick with in the long run? Or, is this going to be, okay, at the end of this season, we're going to have to change up this roster a little bit. I did see I know we don't mention any names in here.
Oh, no, that's
It's
okay.
forbidden,
That's okay. No,
but
that's okay.
I did see
That's
that-
okay.
I did see that Dwight Howard is coming back to Washington.
Oh,
To
paycheck
work
collection
on-
time.
To work on